Lighted Field in Garden City. It is the Bragging Rights Tournament for the Garden City Parks and Recreation. The final men's game here at Lighted Field. Hi, everybody. This is Dan York along with Dan Plamondon from the Garden City Parks and Recreation as we get ready to bring you the championship game, which is the Diamond Dogs versus GTW Rockstars, a 12-team tournament. Is that correct, Dan, that brought us to this point?
That's correct. All teams participated in a single elimination tournament. We are here in the championship game. GTW Rockstars is our number 5 seed, and the Diamond Dogs is our number 6 seed.
All right, so you have an open tournament, basically, if you will, of all of the best teams from the spring season. Is that correct?
That's correct. Altogether, we've had about 45 teams that participated in our spring league. Of that, around 35 were men's teams. What we did for the first time in the Parks and Rec softball program is we developed a power rankings based on performance in the spring league, and we seeded teams based on runs scored, wins and losses, strength of schedule, a number of different fun factors, and we invited our top 12 teams out for a fun night of competitive softball for bragging rights in Garden City.
All right, there you saw Mark Meyer with a line shot into right center field for a base hit, and you saw that the 5 and 6 seeds in this tournament pulled off a couple of upsets to get themselves into the championship game. It was a 3-day tournament, our final day today. And that brings us to this point. And Ryan Radin, the shortstop, will be the batter. They call it 3-2 ball if you're not familiar with it. Each batter starts with 1 ball and 1 strike. Tries to move things along, and there is a line shot into left field for a base hit. That will advance Meyer to second base, and Radin is on with a single. So back-to-back singles for GTW Rockstars to start this one out, and that'll bring up Brad Paremba, the first baseman for the Rockstars team. And he hits one into left center field. The left center fielder moving back, puts it away. The runner from second base will advance, so Meyer moves up to third base. Radin will stay home, a sacrifice fly for Paremba. 4 outfielders, and that'll bring up Justin Tonti. So Tonti, with runners on first and third, looks at a strike. Mike Evans on the mound, the pitcher for the Diamond Dogs. That one is short. Had situations where a lot of the players, as you see a line shot that the shortstop picks up, flips over to second for 1. Relay to first is in the dirt, so the run will score. Meyer scores to make it 1-0. Radin is out on the fielder's choice on a good play by the shortstop, Merrick. There's 2 outs, and Tonti is safe at first on the fielder's choice. And that'll bring up Ryan Davis, the catcher. It has been extremely hot today. Temperature peaked out at 101 degrees. We'll take a look at that in a little while. As you see, that one line shot through the box that catches the pitcher's foot. Tonti will advance to third base, and Davis is safe at first. It is cooled down considerably now into a more comfortable temperature. We'll take a look at that in between innings, but 101 degrees today, and this is a very dry field with a slag surface, so not conducive for this weather, and you can hear the wind. It's been blowing all day long with this heat. And the fields are obviously very dried out from this many games in 3 days. And Aaron Hensley pops it up. The left center fielder comes in to put it away, and the side is retired. So 1 run scored by GTW Rockstars here in the first inning, and we go to the bottom of the first inning with a score of 1-0. So for the Dogs, it'll be Merrick Lackey and Coyle. Let's take a look at the conditions for this one. These were the actual temperatures for today. Got up to 101 degrees. It has cooled off a little bit, but I wouldn't even say considerably. Normal high only 83. We didn't break a record, but with a temperature currently of 91 degrees. Very hot for the start of this one. Under the lights, though, and there is a little bit of a breeze, so the conditions have improved a little bit, but that wind is also blowing in, so that's going to knock some balls down here today.
Yeah, the weather does play a factor in the games. You know, when you take into consideration the wind and the dust, with this slag, it can be challenging for the players and the umpires even making the calls. So it definitely is a disadvantage to both sides, both teams in the game.
I teased about this before, but I think I've probably swallowed 14 pounds of dirt today. We've had guys that have been out here since 10 in the morning, and my thanks to them for working so hard on this in pretty impossible conditions. Again, temperatures over 100 degrees today for our setup. So it'll be Merrick, Lackey, and Coyle for the Dogs as we get things started here in the bottom of the first inning. Both of these teams had to win here tonight to make it right here. And there's one through the wickets at third base. Merrick turns the bag at first. Throw comes in high. He will stay at second base in a cloud of dust. We'll give him a single. Actually have to give him a double if there's no error. And that'll bring up Lackey. Berryman got eaten up at third, but that was a tough play. So that'll bring up Brett Lackey.
Brett's the team captain of the Dogs team. He's been playing at Garden City for 2 years.
This one's hit into right center field. He puts it away. The runner tags with the ball right there, and he slides in safely at third. Merrick with some speed tags up on a ball that was caught not more than about 60 feet from him. And that'll bring up Bill Coyle. Morales, the right fielder, made the play. Coyle, the third baseman, looks at one in tight. There's a ground ball to second base. The runner, he does go now. Throw to the plate won't be in time, and the run scores, so Merrick with his speed manufactures one right there.
Yeah, the Dogs are fresh off a playoff championship win. They finished runner-up in the Friday Night Men's D-League and pulled the upset in the playoffs and beat the Rock Systems #1 seeded league championship team just 2 weeks ago. So on a bit of a hot streak here recent.
So Evans, the pitcher. No, I don't think, he's got the wrong number, it looks like. There's one hit into left field that'll drop in for a base hit. The runner turns the bag at first, and he'll be safe at second. So Evans with a double. Obviously, the guys don't all have matching jerseys, so it's a little bit of catch-up for us trying to figure out who actually belongs to these numbers.
A lot of these guys that play on these teams play on multiple teams. They have to declare their allegiance to one team.
And played on multiple teams in this tournament, so
yes,
that's one of the tough things. Here's a deep fly ball hit to right field. He looks up, and it is over the wall and a home run for Matt Barnier. So Barnier hits the first home run of the game. It's a 2-run homer and a 3-1 lead now for the Dogs. So Barnier drives home Evans. And 3-1 our score now early on here in the first. And that'll bring up Rick Warnock. Warnock, the left-handed hitting left center fielder. Now there's a limit of 3 home runs in this tournament. As Warnock turns the bag quickly at second base, there's some serious speed on this Dogs team. Now, does that home run limit differ in the regular season for the leagues?
It depends on if it's a recreational or competitive league. Recreational is a 2 home run limit, competitive is 3. And that is an over-the-fence home run. It's got to be over the fence to count against the limit.
Here's a pop-up down the first base line. The first baseman chasing, but it will drop in. For a strike.
Rick Warnock is also an employee of the Parks and Rec Department. He's a coach in the Hoops program. He's been coaching in Garden City for about 9 years.
And we'll try to talk about some of that stuff as the game goes on, but just this is an example of some of the programs that are put on by the Parks and Recreation program here in Garden City that Dan Plamondon is responsible for. And the spring season just ending in softball as Josh Hudson comes up to bat. He's the right center fielder. He rips one into left field for a base hit. Warnock turns the bag at third. Throw to the plate will be not in time, and Hudson will trot into second base. So Hudson with a single and an RBI. He advances to second on the throw. And it's 4-1 now for the Dogs. And that'll bring up Paul Cole, the right fielder. This one's hit into the outfield. Left center fielder should be able to make the play. He does. And that's the end of the inning. But not before the Dogs come up with 4 runs in the inning. And they lead it by a score of 4-1. It'll be Ryan, Sharp, and Morales, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for GTW Rockstars as we go into the second inning. Lights on here at Lighted Field, not quite dark, but dark enough that the sun is no longer a factor. Now let's talk about that after-school sports program, Dan Plamondon. You mentioned it a second ago, revolving around basketball and flag football right now.
Yeah, we'll in about another month we'll be advertising and taking registrations for our fall youth programs. Girls 5th and 6th grade, boys 5th and 6th grade, basketball and flag football, and then we have a Start Smart program. That's for boys and girls ages 3 through 7. That is a parent-taught program. Takes place at Berger and some of the different elementary schools in Garden City.
All right, so we're underway here in the second inning. Sean Ryan, the second baseman, the batter for GTW Rockstars. And he swings and misses, and a strikeout swinging for Sean Ryan.
Sure, he'll be hearing it from his teammates there.
You don't see that a whole lot. So that'll bring up Andrew Sharp. Sharp wearing number 7 tonight. One up, one away. Here's one hit inside out the opposite way that'll drop in foul down the right field line. Sharp trying to poke one to right. Our umpires for tonight's game are Chuck Killenbeck and Dave Mester.
Correct. Chuck's behind the mound, and Dave Mester is out in infield somewhere, if I can locate him.
Behind first base.
There we go.
Here's the pitch. Down low. Evans working from the first base side of the rubber. 4-1 early on. There's one ripped into right center field for a base hit. That one gets past Hudson, will go all the way to the warning track, and Sharp will make his way into second base. So a single for Sharp, and he'll move to second on the air. And there's one out and one on for the Rockstars. And this will bring up Frank Morales. And a courtesy runner for Rockstars. The runner is Sean Ryan, who made the last out. And Morales takes a look at a ball. This one's popped up. Right center fielder coming in, had a long way to come. Hudson puts it away, and there's 2 away. So Sharp, or check that, Ryan, still the runner at second base, running for Sharp. And they'll bring up Berriman, the third baseman. Big thanks to all of our crew here on this one. And this one has popped up into the infield. The pitcher comes over and makes the play, and the side is retired. So no damage for Rockstars. In the inning, they get a runner as far as second base, but they can't score him. And we go to the bottom of the second inning. Still the Dogs lead it by a score of 4-1. It'll be Cole, Wiseman, and Hudson. The 8, 9, and 10 batters. Now they can bat more than they play in the field, correct?
That's correct. You can play 10 in the outfield, and you can bat up to 12. In slow pitch softball, we have what we call an alternate hitter, which would be in the positions 11 and 12.
Now, folks, if you haven't seen them already throughout the community, the DIA is an inside-out program is what it's called, and it features reproductions of paintings that are actually at the Detroit Institute of Arts. And these paintings are on a rotating basis and are installed throughout the community. Now, they're actually already up. It says July 3rd, but they installed them early. And they'll be up through September 30th. And this is also will be rolled out at the DDA's Night of Arts and Stars. That'll come up on July 13th. But these paintings, one of them is located on the Middle Belt side of Orange Jewelers. One of them is located at City Hall. One of them is located at the fire department. I think there's one in the Commons. And there's one more that I'm not coming up with. Maybe Gibby will remember everywhere we went the other day. But these are to complement the sculptures that are in the community. The Farmers Market is the other one, by the way. These are to complement the sculptures that have been placed throughout the community in the downtown development area. So find some time and take a look at those. And again, if you're so inclined, on July 13th, beginning at 7 o'clock, they'll have a tour of all of those paintings, and it'll be kind of neat. So there's a line shot hit into a left field that the left fielder picked up off his shoelaces. So Cole lines out to the left fielder, and there's one up and one away, and I think that was Meyer in left field. So Wiseman now the first baseman, the batter. And there's a strike called. Nope, this is Mark Hudson, so I'm not sure if they, well, I'm just not sure.
Might have changed in the lineup. We'll have to double check that.
So Hudson pops out to the right center fielder.
Merrick's up.
And that'll be the top of the order. I think Cole made the last out of the last inning. And my bookkeeping's just bad. That's my guess. So that'll bring up Merrick. He doubled and scored a run back in the first with his speed, and he lines one into the outfield. He thought about it with the ball right in front of him. So Merrick will stay at first base.
The runner here, Mike Merrick, actually played on both teams during the spring season. He had to declare himself to the Dogs, Diamond Dogs team for this game.
Yeah, because it's an open tournament and you're mixing leagues up, you have players that play on multiple nights. And the result is guys in this tournament that play on multiple teams.
Absolutely.
There's a line shot hit into left center field. That's put away, and the side is retired. So nothing across for the Dogs here in the second inning as Lackey lines out for the third out of the inning. So our score as we go to the third inning is still 4-1. The Diamond Dogs on top here at Lighted Field in the Bragging Rights Tournament. End of the spring season, the final men's game here at Lighted Field. As you see some of the folks enjoying a very, very nice evening. Now let's talk about what goes on at City Park, and one of those things that people may or may not know about is these pavilions that are available to rent that are very nice places to hold family events or just hold any kind of an event.
Absolutely. Our pavilions are really the main attraction at City Park. We draw parties and reunions and get-togethers of all types to City Park. So you'll see we have a number of different rates for residents and non-residents. There is a discount if you're a resident. We have a walking path. It's over a mile long, which is utilized 365 days a year. We have the batting cages. We have a couple sand volleyball courts and a number of picnic tables throughout the park. So lots of options for recreating in City Park. So
if they want to call you, what phone number should they call?
They're going to contact our the Parks and Rec office, 734-793-1882.
All right, and more of that information can be found on the city's website at www.gardencitymi.org/park. So let's see if we can get this straight now. So we've got substitutions defensively for the Diamond Dogs as, oh, check that, that's GTW that's making changes. And I'll have to catch up with these because
I'll bail you out.
They don't all add up.
I'll bail you out here, Dan. Right center, we've got Mark Hudson. He's our new right center fielder. And we've added an alternate hitter at the bottom of the lineup, and that is, bear with me here.
Nope, see, I think that's the...
you're right.
And there's a line shot for an out. We're going to have to catch up here. So I guess Hensley also wears number 11 for Rockstars, and this will bring up Meyer. Hensley was added as a additional hitter just before the game started, and there's a line shot single for Mark Meyer. Yeah, we'll have to fight our way through this one. They gave us some changes, but they only gave us defensive changes, and we don't know who they're for and where they bat. So that brings up Ryan Radin. There's a fly ball hit into left center field. The left fielder comes over and makes the play. No tag by Meyer. And there's 2 down now. So they'll bring up Paremba. Paremba had a sacrifice fly in the first, and he looks at a ball. And there's a fly ball to the center fielder. He puts it away in a pretty easy inning for the Diamond Dogs as Paremba flies out. No runs for Rockstars, still 4-1. The Diamond Dogs on top. Now the Garden City Hockey Association, one of the main tenants at the Garden City Civic Arena, already holding sign-ups for the upcoming season. And some of those sign-ups are coming up here in July.
That's correct. Garden City Hockey Association, they offer youth hockey for young boys and girls ages 4 and up, all the way through 17 and 18 years old for midget programs. So we have sign-ups coming up on Thursday, July 26th, 6 to 8:30 p.m. Saturday, the 28th of July from 10 to 12. All registration is held at the Garden City Ice Arena. You can get more information by going to their website, which is www.leaguelineup.com/GCHA, or you can contact one of their board members, Gary Thiem, at 734-721-3802.
All right, very good. So it may be 101 degrees today, but we're talking about hockey. Tonti, the batter for Rockstars. Check that. This is the Diamond Dogs batting, and this is what happens when you've never seen either team before. As Cole pops out for the first out of the inning.
Well, it is challenging with these guys in these shirts and these lack of numbers to identify them.
It's funny, the new style of shirts, that are, I don't know how to explain them. They kind of look like the mountain biking or the skateboarder style, but the number is buried in all of those graphics.
I'm used to the old English D with just
right.
a number on the back.
Evans with a line shot into right field for a base hit. He's going to go for 2. Right out of the box, he decided he was going to go for 2, and he's in there with a double. So Mike Evans with a rope. That's his second double of the night. And that'll bring up Matt Barnier. And Barnier with a ground ball off the shortstop's foot. He'll be safe at first. Evans unable to advance. So 2 on and nobody out now. And that'll bring up Rick Warnock. Check that 1 down. I was too busy filling out my taxes then to write that one down. Called strike on Warnock. And Warnock rips one deep into right field. But the right fielder there to put it away, and both runners will try to advance, and they do successfully. That's Morales now, I believe, in right field. So Evans moves up to third. Barnier moves up to second. And that'll bring up Josh Hudson.
Josh Hudson, among many on the Dogs team with Garden City residency here. A lot of Garden City representation on the Dogs team.
Played high school baseball. And this one's popped up right here. Let's see. Oh, and he put it away as our monitor committed suicide. And the side is retired. So Hudson pops up, and that's the end of the inning. So the Diamond Dogs, with another scoreless inning, they got 4 in the first. They didn't score there, and they lead it now by a score still of 4-1 for the Rockstars. We've got Tani Davis and Aaron Hensley coming up. Now adult softball, which is exactly what we're watching now. We're ending our spring season, just about to move into our summer season, but for folks watching this on TV, there's an opportunity to get into the fall season.
Correct. We're wrapping up summer signups right now. We will start our fall registration August 1st. We offer men's recreational and competitive leagues. We do highly encourage individuals to sign up as a team. If you are an individual without a team, rather gather up some friends and put a team together and contact our office and get a team in. We also do have co-ed leagues on Mondays and Wednesdays. And our fall season is an abbreviated season of our spring and summer. It's a 10-game package. So, but if there's any questions, always call the Parks and Rec office.
And again, more information on the city's website, www.gardencitymI.org/parks. As this one is hit into left center field. The left center fielder there to put it away. There you go. And there's one up and one away.
One thing I just want to add on the softball, we do have a brand new website for the softball program. It's www.gardencitysoftball.com. All of the pertinent league information and championship team photos and standings and all kinds of good stuff on the program are on the website.
And this is Davis, and he rips one into the outfield for a base hit. So Davis is 2 for 2. Couple of singles. And he'll get a runner, and that's going to be Tonti. So these are courtesy runners, really, not pinch runners.
That's correct. And as our rules state, any courtesy runner is always the last recorded out on that team, and it has to be approved by the opposing team. Most fans don't know that.
There's a strike called on Aaron Hensley. He's 0 for 1 tonight.
Aaron's the captain of the GTW team.
He reached out and ripped that one into left field as the shortstop chases it down and wisely throws it ahead to third base to prevent any advancement. So Hensley with a single, tough play by the shortstop. That's Merrick at short. And that'll bring up Sean Ryan. Ryan struck out swinging his first time up. There's one inside on him. So 2 balls and no strikes. And a strike called. hitters league. Umpire doesn't want to see anybody walk. There's one ripped into the outfield for a base hit. Runner coming around third is Davis. He'll score. Throw into second base is a little high. And Ryan slides in with a double. So an RBI for Sean Ryan. Hensley moves to third base.
I don't see too many guys working the count in slow pitch softball, but it paid off there.
And this is Sharp who hits one into the outfield. The right center fielder there to glove it. He'll throw it home. Cut off by the pitcher, but that'll allow the runner to advance to third base. Pitcher tried to cut it off. So that's a sac fly for Sharp. That allowed Hensley's position to score. Ryan is now on third. There's two away. And that's the end of the inning. So we go now to the bottom of the inning. That's 2 runs scoring for the Rockstars, and we've got it as a 4-3 lead still for the Diamond Dogs. Now, coming up on July 13th, we mentioned that night of Arts and Stars, the Downtown Development Authority will be showing the movie Rio, and that'll be right downtown, located between the State Farm Insurance Agency and the Moose on the southeast corner of a Ford and Middlebelt. There's no charge for that movie, and it's kind of drive-in style minus the cars. Bring your chairs, bring your blankets, bring your pillows, bring whatever you want to do, and hang out. It'll be right at dusk. Again, it'll be at the end of the DDA's Night of Arts and Stars, and that'll go on right at dusk on that Friday. So see Rio absolutely free, courtesy of the Garden City Downtown Development Authority. So that'll bring up the Diamond Dogs. And Paul Cole, the batter. 4-3 lead for the Dogs. Here's one hit into center field. The left center fielder can't make the play. He picks it up on one hop, fires it back into the infield, and it's a base hit for Paul Cole.
You see these dry field conditions really makes that ball pop in that outfield out there.
Yeah, and there is nothing you can do about it this time of year. There is no way to keep up with the amount of watering that would be required to keep these fields in good playable conditions. So it just is what it is, and it's like this for everybody everywhere.
Yes.
Here's one hit into left field. The left fielder comes in and makes a dive for it. And he made the play.
Nice catch there by the outfielder.
Nice play by Meyer. I was obscured by the umpire trying to catch it on the monitor. Great play. And that'll bring up Mark Hudson. He's 0 for 1. So Hudson, the catcher for the Dogs. He pops one up into shallow left field. Meyer there to put it away. Runner bluffs but goes back to first base. And there's 2 away. And that'll bring up Mike Merrick.
Definitely a low-scoring game so far.
There's a strike called on the shortstop. He grounds one through the hole between second base and shortstop. Here comes Cole around second into third base. And runners on the corners now for the Dogs. Merrick is 3 for 3. Cole checks in at third, and that brings up Brett Lackey. Lackey 0 for 2 so far. Looking to drive one home right now for the Dogs. They lead it 4-3. And there's one down low. Lackey, one of those Garden City legacies. As that one is hit through the box for a base hit. That will score a run. That's Cole that scores. Merrick is coming home now, and he'll score. So a little trouble with the ball in the infield for GTW, and Merrick takes advantage of it. So your runner at first base is Lackey. He got an RBI. And now it's 6-3 for the Diamond Dogs. And there's a ball down low. Yeah, but a lot of these names that you see are names of guys whose fathers played on this field. Nice play by the shortstop. Flips it over to second base in time. And the side is retired. Nice job by Radin at shortstop to end the inning. So Lackey is out 6-4 at second base, and the side is retired, but not before the Dogs come up with 2 more runs, and they now lead it by a score of 6-3. Berriman, Hensley, and Meyer scheduled to bat, assuming that we still have the lineups right here in the 5th inning. Now, the Garden City Civic Arena, we talked about that the ice time for the Garden City Hockey Association earlier on. Now, Dan, we've gone back to closing the ice arena in the summer. Is that correct?
That's correct. Right now our ice is out, and you know, there's a number of projects we're doing to try to get the ice arena back in shape for the fall, but just some fall programs for the community to look forward to. We do our public ice skating on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, sticks and pucks, drop-in hockey, and our new program, glow skating, which has really taken off for us. And of course, we have our Learn to Skate program and Learn to Play Hockey.
Well, hockey and baseball are king and always have been king in Garden City, and sometimes that means softball too, but very popular place, Garden City Civic Arena. Now for Rockstars, we've got different batter than I've got in my lineup. He takes a walk, though. I believe that was, oh, I've had the wrong number for him the entire game. Oh, that's because they changed their lineup just before we started. Excuses. Now that'll bring up Ryan Hensley, number 11. So that is Berriman who takes the walk. And there's a strike called on Hensley. He's 0 for 1. This one's hit foul and out of play. So GTW Rockstars trying to get back into this one in the 5th inning. They trail by a score of 6-3. This one's popped up, foul right next to us, just behind the stands. And Hensley is called out on strikes with the foul ball with 2 strikes.
You know, something most fans of baseball might not be accustomed to. In slow pitch softball, you can actually pitch behind the mound, the pitching rubber.
So as long as you're behind it.
Yeah, there's a
you can pitch from farther away.
Yeah, there's a 6-foot courtesy box, I guess you could say.
Huh. I didn't know that.
It's more for safety reasons.
Well, if you think about it, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, and most guys don't take advantage of it, but it is there. It is there to utilize.
Yeah,
if you'd like
with
to.
the new technology of these bats and the way the ball just jumps off of them, you can't blame a guy who's out here having fun to want to protect himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one's inside out and into the outfield, but the left center fielder rather, comes in and makes the play, and the side is retired. So nothing across for Rockstars. And they still trail 6-3 as we go into the bottom of the 5th inning. I believe that was Rick Warnock that made the nice running play.
Yes, sir.
For the Diamond Dogs. Now, we've talked about it in bits and pieces tonight, but the DDA will be putting on their 2nd annual Night of Arts and Stars. It'll be in downtown Garden City, featuring the sculptures that are already there. The new DIA Inside Out debut, although you can see those paintings already. Artwork that will be at several locations throughout the city. The Garden City Fine Arts Association will be displaying some of their artwork. There will be musicians, face painting, food, and of course that free outdoor movie, Rio. All part of the DDA's Night of Arts and Stars, coming up on July 13th at 7 o'clock. For complete details, go to the DDA's website, which is downtowngardencity.org. So that should be a great time for everybody. It was last year, and it should be another great time this year. And Evans pops it up. Right center fielder is there. Long time to wait for it. He puts it away, and there's one up and one away. It's Hensley in right center field now.
Yep.
He and Morales flip-flopped as Hensley moved from AH to right center fielder. That brings up
somebody.
Yeah, I think this is, let's see, that was Evans that popped up. And here's one hit into right field. Right fielder forever waiting for that one to come down. Morales made the catch. And there's 2 up and 2 away, and that'll bring up Warnock. That one we're sure about. So pretty easy inning so far for GTW, as the Dogs with a couple of pop-ups. That one's down low. Pitch from Hensley. Warnock with that tomahawk swing. And right into the glove of Morales, and the side is retired. So 2 flyouts to the right fielder, when 1 fly out to the right center fielder, and a very quick inning for the Diamond Dogs. They do not score, but they still lead it by a score of 6-3 in the Bragging Rights Championship game here at Garden City's lighted field. Dan York along with Dan Plamanen from the Garden City Parks and Recreation as we bring you this game under the lights. We talked about the heat earlier on in this one. Now the Parks and Recreation main office with some new office hours, in case folks don't know.
That's correct. For those of you that in the viewing public, I guess, most people have been accustomed to the office over at the Maplewood Center. We're now over at the Ice Arena. Our office hours will be going, new office hours will be going into effect July 2nd. Be Monday through Friday, 12 to 6. And as always, contact us by phone or by over the internet. And look for any information on programs our department offers.
All right, so Poremba, the leadoff hitter, he's the first baseman. He rips one into right field that drops in for a base hit. He turns the bag at first, so Poremba leads off with a single, and that'll bring up Tanti. Tanti is 0 for 2, safe on a fielder's choice. Evans, Mike Evans, still on the mound for the Dogs. Another one of those legacy families in Garden City that's had tons of kids go through the school district, including their father. And there's a ball. Here's a fly ball hit into right field. Cole moving back, makes the play right on the foul line, and that will advance the runner Poremba to second base. So a sacrifice for Tanti will move the runner up to second. That was Cole out there in right field that made the play, and that'll bring up Ryan Davis. And there's one's ripped beyond the reach of the shortstop. Here comes Poremba around third. He'll score, and an RBI single for Ryan Davis. And Davis will get a courtesy runner, which I believe will be Tanti. But Davis has been on base 3 times tonight, 3 for 3.
He's the courtesy runner all 3 times, too.
Good work if you can get it.
Yeah.
Hensley looks at one short. This is Aaron Hensley, the pitcher. He thought that was ball 4, so he'll come back. When you're the pitcher or the catcher, you're not supposed to anger the umpire like that, are you?
No.
There's one hit into right center field that'll drop in for a base hit. So Davis will advance to second base. The pitcher Hensley is safe at first. And that'll bring up number 1, Sean Ryan. Ryan's 1 for 2 tonight. This one is ripped into right center field, into the gap, drops in for a base hit. Hudson picks it up and flips it into the infield. 1 run will score. Davis crosses home plate. Although I think that was his pinch runner, Tonti. So 2 runs in this inning, and it's now 6-5. Hensley advances to third. Ryan safe at first. And Sharp looks at a ball. So a couple of runs this inning for the Rockstars, and they have pulled within 1. That one's down low, and Sharp will walk. And he'll walk right back to the dugout if he can. Oh, he's going to run. There's his runner. So Tonti will run again, being the last out. Yeah, well, it'll be 25 again. And that'll bring up Morales, the additional hitter, 0 for 2 tonight.
You know, they say slow pitch softball is a lifelong sport, just like golf. Play
Okay.
till well in your 60s and 70s.
Morales rips one into right field. That'll drop in for a base hit. That will score a run. We've got a tie ball game, and now the lead for the Rockstars. So 2 runs score.
Bats are starting to wake up for the Rockstars, Dan.
Morales with 2 RBIs on the single, and they've taken the lead now 7-6. Sharp goes to third. Berriman the batter. 4 runs in this inning. Here's a pop fly into shallow right field. Right fielder comes in, makes the play. And another run will score as Berriman with a sacrifice fly. So both outs this inning, either scored a runner or advanced a runner. And that'll bring up Ryan Hensley now. So Sharp scores. Runner at first base is Morales. 5 runs in this inning for GTW Rockstars.
You know, the good thing about this tournament, Dan, is it brings out the best teams in Garden City. All these games in this tournament have been close.
Here's a fly ball to deep right field. Right fielder in foul territory puts it away, and that finally ends the inning for the Rockstars, but not before they score 5. They hang a 5 spot this inning, and they now lead it by a score of 8-6. So 5 runs score. Biggest offensive explosion by either team here tonight.
Absolutely. It's been a low-scoring game for the most part, and these tournament games have been up and down. We've had some scores well into the upper teens, and last night and some of the semifinal, quarterfinal games, we've had single-digit scores, so it's been all over the place. Tonight's been a fairly well-balanced matchup, though.
So Rockstars, to get here, had to beat the team called Venom and Slingers, and then the number 1 seed Rock Systems. And then the Diamond Dogs from that 6th spot beat the B-Dubs Malarkey's team on Tuesday night. On Wednesday night, they beat Sports Venue, and tonight they beat Alberts. So both teams had to win 3 games to get here.
That's correct. It's been a longer path for these 2 teams.
Right, they had to play in the rat tail, if you will, on Tuesday night.
That's correct. 3 nights. And some of our higher seeds only had to play 2 nights.
So Josh Hudson, the batter, playing right center field. He's 1 for 2 tonight. For the Dogs, they need a couple of runs here. They trail by a score of 8-6. Hudson with wheels. Looks at a strike.
Fireworks going off.
The exploding scoreboard going off out in right field. Thanks, Rick Snyder. Paul Cole up next. This one is ripped into left field down the line. The left fielder, oh, in and out of his mitt.
Incredible.
In and out of his mitt. That's Meyer, I believe, in left field. So there's one up and one away. And that'll bring up Paul Cole.
You know, Dan, I know we've mentioned this, but this is the last game at Lighted Field for the slow pitch program. A lot of memories here at this field. I personally been working in the city for 6 years, but I know a lot of residents remember playing back in the 70s here.
Yeah, we were trying to determine whether they started playing in the 60s. I ran into Tom Janes today, as you see, a single for Paul Cole, who used to work for Parks and Recreation. Let's see that play by Meyer. This is the fly ball by Hudson down the left field line. And Meyer with the circus catch. You see it's in the glove, it's out of the glove, it's in the glove. So
it's incredible.
Nice play by Meyer out in left field. But Tom had said that he knew that Jack O'Callahan, and I know you're not from around here, Dan, but Jack O'Callahan, I believe, was born in 1774, used to play here at Lighted Field. So we're thinking maybe back as far as the 60s.
Wow.
As there's a fly ball into left field.
You know, there was an article in the Garden City Observer recently that referred to Lighted Field as our Tiger Stadium here in Garden City on the corner of Trumbull and Michigan, but here in Garden City it's Maplewood and Hartel.
There you go.
So
now you've had, over the past couple of years, because you've had the expansion of the softball program, you've had games that have been at City Park anyways, right?
That's correct. You know, the year before I came here, we registered 27 teams. And just as recent as the 2011 year, we had well over 140 teams. So
wow.
We've really grown the program and utilized fields to, you know, maximize field use. And
so after this, it all goes to City Park.
Yeah, after tonight, we're watching the last game to be played at Lighted Field here. We'll be playing slow pitch softball exclusively at City Park.
All right, and then the girls team here at Garden City High School, the field will be retrofitted for them, bringing the fences in, bringing the infield in, stuff like that. So 8-6 is our score. No runs for the Dogs in the 6th. And we've got Meyer, Radin, and Paremba batting in the 7th. Dan York along with Dan Plamondon here at the Lighted Field for this championship game, as this is an open tournament, and there were power rankings that actually determined the teams that got into this tournament.
Hey, Dan,
and that's a result of the new website.
That's correct. New website allowed us to do a number of different features with the program. But I did want to take a minute just to say thanks to Garden City TV and yourself and the crew working tonight for helping be a part of this last game here at Lighted Field and giving some recognition to the Parks and Rec Department and the softball program.
Yeah, quickly, I want to thank everybody before we get out of here too quickly. Brett George, who has been with us for almost the entire 30 years that we've done this on one of our cameras. Rob Rancor in center field, who works with us at the University of Detroit Mercy also, and works with the Tigers at Comerica Park. Chris Carrico, who is on the ball follow tonight. Jared Seguin, who has been with us for a long, long time, is on the first base side. And in the truck tonight, they have a full house. Brian Bykowitz handling replay. CG is handled by Lee Jones. Jason Merrow handling our engineering tonight, and Christian Gibbons, our producer-director, who's worked very, very hard on this one. He was out here first thing in the morning. You just see that one go through the wickets. So Paremba is safe at first. Radin advances to third, and there's 2 on and 1 out for the Rockstars. So after hanging a 5-spot last inning, the Rockstars kicking up their heels again, and this will be Tati at bat. So 1 out. And Paremba's going to get a courtesy runner. That courtesy runner will be Mark Meyer, who led off the inning. Flew out to right. Here's one short. I like the camo number on the catcher's back on Mark Hudson's back.
Yeah, it's a hodgepodge of players from all kinds of different leagues around the Metro Detroit area. You know, we get a lot of pull from the surrounding area. We have teams that drive in from South Lyon, downriver.
As you see the fly out there to right center field, but that will drive home a run. Well, and one of the cool things is while a lot of cities are starting to cut back their programs, we're actually expanding our softball program.
Correct. And we've been able to tailor our program after around some competing programs in Wayne County.
Well, there's a major league fly ball. And the left center fielder comes in to put it away. And the side is retired, but not before. One more run is pushed home in the top of the 7th. So 9-6 is our score. Now, we talked about those power rankings, and these were the teams that were in the tournament, and this is how they were ranked, and this is a result of the new website that you're using, correct?
That's correct, and this is an arbitrary ranking system. I wouldn't compare it to the BCS or
well, that's pretty arbitrary
like that.
too.
So, but as you can see, the two teams we're watching here tonight in this game are actually our number 5 and number 6 teams in our power rankings. Rock Systems and Alberts took an early exit from the evening. Both teams lost respectively to the Dogs and the GTW Rockstars. But we did have some great representation from Garden City, and the rankings here show win streaks and records in the spring season, run differential, and
all that stuff's available on that website. Now, does that go per season or all year long?
Per season.
Okay.
Per season. Yeah.
All right, so it is a 9-6 game. It is the bottom of the 7th inning. The Dogs looking to try to tie it here. That'll bring up Merrick. Merrick has been on 3 times, and with his speed has manufactured a couple of runs. So Merrick, the shortstop, rips one into left field. Let's see how long this one holds up. The left fielder comes over and makes the play. Meyer. That one hung up a little longer than Merrick would have liked, and there's one up and one away. That'll bring up Brett Lackey. Lackey is 1 for 3. There's a ground ball between third base and shortstop for a base hit. So Lackey gets on. And that'll bring up Bill Coyle. Coyle, the third baseman. As the Diamond Dogs looking to tie this up. They led most of the game. But in the 5th inning, the Rockstars took the lead.
A fake pitch is a popular thing in slow pitch softball to try to deke the batter.
Here's a ground ball right back to the pitcher. This could be the game. Throws the second over to first, not in time. Almost a game-ending double play.
Good hustle there by the hitter.
So Coyle, head first slide or head first dive into first base. He'll be hosed off before he's allowed to get into his car.
Yeah.
And that'll bring up Mike Evans. Evans is 2 for 3.
Is anybody on the Dogs team that can make this interesting? It certainly is Mike Evans.
In the bottom of the 7th. Here's one ripped down the line in right field. Foul ball. That probably would have driven home a run. Lackey, the runner at first base. Take our word for it, he's under that dirt. Evans, the batter. Pitcher making some adjustments to his outfield. Comes to the plate, flattens it out. Runner on first base is Coyle. Evans with a ground ball through the hole between first and second base. Evans is going to take second base. Coyle will trot into third, so the Dogs now kicking up their heels. Double for Evans, Coyle at third base, and Matt Barnier, the batter. 2 down, bottom of the 7th inning. Barnier looks at a ball. Barnier hits one deep into right field. Right fielder lets it go out of play. I lost it. I was obscured by where it was. So Barnier, the left-hander and left fielder. 1 ball, 1 strike. Barnier looks at a ball. Barnier rips this one into left center field, and that is the ball game. The Diamond Dogs unable to push anything across here in the 7th inning, and our final score is GTW Rockstars 9 and the Diamond Dogs 6. And GTW Rockstars, they come away as the tournament champions in the bragging rights tournament, and they win the final game for the men's league here at Lighted Field.
Yeah, congratulations to both teams, and I can't say enough about the GTW Rockstars team. They're very loyal to Garden City softball. They play 2-3 nights a week. I know a lot of the guys on both teams, but Aaron Hensley and the Rockstars team, congratulations to you guys for the first annual bragging rights champions here in Garden City. My hat off to you.
A big 6th inning for the Rockstars is what did it, and that's how they were able to put away this 9-6 win. Dan, I want to thank you very much for all the help you gave us in putting this together. There's a lot of research and a lot of effort that went into putting it together. It's kind of tricky televising a game when you don't know who the teams will be, but you helped us out very much, and I appreciate that.
And I thank you guys very much, and thank you to the crew, and thank you, Dan, and everybody for helping out and putting this production on tonight. It means a lot to us. That's
going to wrap it up from Lighted Field. Again, the final score, GTW Rockstars 9, the Diamond Dogs 6. They win the bragging rights tournament here at Lighted Field. So for everybody here at OmniDish Television, this is Dan York saying so long and thanks very much for watching. Good night, everybody.